A very good afternoon. It is 1 p.m. and in exactly 3 hours from now, Karnataka Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa will have to prove his majority during the floor test with the proceedings of the House telecast live on TV channels. That is the big focus this hour in the midday news. I'm Ashwarya Kapoor and these are the headlines. Supreme Court rejects Congress-JDS plea challenging appointment of Pro Tem Speaker K.J. Boppaiah in Karnataka. Live streaming of a floor test of B.S. Yediyurappa government from 4 p.m. today. Pro Tem Speaker K.J. Boppaiah administers oath to MLAs ahead of floor test. All sides confident of victory. Congress says 2 of its MLAs and 1 from the BJP yet to arrive in assembly. Prime Minister unveils a plaque to commence work for all-weather 14 kilometers Zojila Tunnel inlay. Projects worth 25,000 crore rupees being inaugurated or initiated today in Jammu and Kashmir. Vice President calls for need to develop a climate-smart agriculture. Says need to make it sustainable and profitable. Stresses on equal importance to nutrition security. And it's the big royal wedding today. Prince Harry to tie the knot with former American actress Meghan Markle. Prince Charles to walk Meghan down the aisle in the absence of her father due to health reasons. The biggest story this afternoon, big day for Karnataka Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa. His 2-day-old government faces a floor test in the State Assembly today. The one-day-long session of the State Assembly is presently on. The floor test will happen at 4 p.m. as ordered by the Supreme Court. Pro Tem Speaker K.J. Boppaiah administered oath to MLAs ahead of the floor test. Meanwhile, Boppaiah's appointment as Pro Tem Speaker was challenged by the Congress-JDS in the Supreme Court. However, the Apex Court rejected the plea. The 3-judge bench of the Apex Court ordered live streaming of the floor test to ensure transparency in proceedings. The Congress has said that 2 of its MLAs and 1 from the BJP are not in the assembly as yet.
The Supreme Court heard the pleas of the Congress party today. All their pleas have been rejected. They wanted the pro tem speaker to be changed. They were alleging malafides against the speaker. The Supreme Court has rejected that prayer. They wanted their senior-most MLA, Mr. Deshpande, to be appointed. That prayer has also been rejected. When the issue came to videography, we informed the Supreme Court that the speaker has allowed a live telecast for various channels, which is much higher and more transparent than a mere videograph. The court recorded that and rejected all the other pleas. The process has commenced at 11 a.m. and the trust vote will take place as it stands at 4 p.m. and the pro tem speaker will do his duty.
Any order on division of votes, sir?
There is no order on division of votes because the Congress party was desperate in trying to secure some point or the other which will impinge on the jurisdiction of the speaker. The speaker has to decide according to rules of the assembly and the speaker will do whatever is possible for him and have a transparent vote.
The most important part is transparent norms so that there is no doubt, there is no question mark on the trust vote. During the course of arguments, since a statement has come on behalf of the governor through its advocate, the Additional Solicitor General Mr. Mehta, that transparency will be ensured by releasing the live feed simultaneously to all local regional channels. And since this statement has been recorded by the Honorable Court, I think virtually all of our concerns are taken care of. Videography was a specific request that is taken care of. Ultimately, we hope and trust that the highest norms of democracy will be maintained at the 4 o'clock trust vote. We hope and trust that the ultimate victor will be democracy, will be parliamentary democracy, will be fairness.
And ahead of the floor test, all the political parties have expressed confidence that their respective parties will win.
Today, I am going to get absolute majority. There is no doubt about it. According to Supreme Court direction, 4 o'clock I am going to prove my majority. As soon as I prove the majority, tomorrow in emergency cabinet meeting, I am going to waive off loan up to 1 lakh cooperative loans and 1 lakh nationalized banks crop loans and 1 lakh NACAR loans, and also old age pension, widow pension from 600 to 1,200, and also irrigation purpose, very important, 1 lakh crores should be provided. For that commitment is there. In the interest of the farmer, I am going to take that decision also tomorrow. So I request all the people of Karnataka, supporters, be calm. After 5 o'clock, you celebrate, and everything was all right.
It's going on up to 4 o'clock. They will going to try to poach the MLS. I can understand. From our party, no MLS trapped. We are all in together mode. Nobody will going to yield for their pressures.
In the assembly, except 3. One is BJP is not there, that Home Security is not there. Okay. No, he is not there, and 2 from the Congress has been not there. 3 are not in the house. Rest all of their house.
The numbers. Bharatiya Janata Party, very, very confident. We will win the trust vote. Both Congress and JDS have a unholy alliance. It will be rejected, people will reject it.
This is not a very new day for BJP. So many occasions it has happened. Even in during the last tenure also we had faced certain difficulties like this. But totally we have to wait till 4 o'clock.
100% हमारे जितने भी MLAs हैं वो चाहे एक आध दिन ने चोरी भी लिया होगा लेकिन सदन में वोट हमारे साथ करेगा.
All right, let's get all the updates now from Panchanan Mishra, who's joining us live from Bengaluru. Panchanan, Supreme Court has now allowed that KG Boppaiah will continue as pro tem speaker, and the proceedings are going to be live telecast of the motion. But, lots of drama expected because both the Congress-JDS alliance and the BJP say that they are confident of their win in the floor test.
Absolutely, Aishwarya, you're right. And one day special session is going on. And first of all, there is a oath is going on. And since 11, the oath process is continued because there are large number of members. So the oath taking will take time. And at 4 p.m. there will be a trust vote. But apart from this assembly, the many incidents are taking place outside assembly also, because we have learned that 2 of the Congress MLAs, Anand Singh and Pratap Gowda Patil, who are not present here because their name were called for the oath, but they were not present here. And one of the BJP MLA is also not here, but the party has said that he is outside and he will be here soon. So a lot of activities also going on, but both the sides are confident, as we have heard the Yedurappa that in the morning that he is 100% sure, and he also announced that after 5 p.m. the party can celebrate. But on the other hand, every Congress member here is looking enthusiastic because they are saying that their MLAs are intact, and this time they are able to keep them intact, and the voting, the numbers are in their favor. So we have to wait for the 4 p.m. But it's not so easy as it looking in Karnataka, because a lot of politics is still being played outside this assembly premises as their proceeding is going on inside the assembly. So we have to wait for the 4 p.m. Aishwarya.
Absolutely. You stay with us, Panchanan. We'll just come back to you. Let's get an update from Kriti Mishra, who's joining us from the Congress's office at the moment. Kriti, as Panchanan was telling us that the newly elected legislators have taken oath, but 2 Congress members are still missing. Any update on what is the Congress party there saying? What about these members? Are they going to be abstaining now?
Well, the Congress party has exuded confidence that its house is safe, its house is together. And in fact, right now also the Congress party held a press conference. So Kapil Sibal and Abhishek Manu Singh, the two lawyers appearing for Congress and JDS combined in the Supreme Court on Congress's plea on removal of Pro-Tem Speaker KG Bopaya. They held a press conference right now and they've again claimed moral victory, saying that the entire event would be videographed. Remember, the Supreme Court has rejected the plea of the Congress on removal of Pro-Tem Speaker KG Bopaya. The Congress was pushing for removal of KG Bopaya as a Pro-Tem Speaker, saying that the convention says that the senior-most MLA of the Assembly must be appointed as the Pro-Tem Speaker, making case for R.V. Deshpande, who is a Congress legislator. But remember, the Supreme Court said if objections are raised against KG Bopaya, he must also be given an opportunity. And in that case, the floor test would be delayed. So the Congress did not further press the press. And remember, Aishwarya, this is not the first time that a junior MLA has been appointed as Pro-Tem Speaker. There have been instances where junior MLAs have surpassed seniority and have been appointed as Pro-Tem Speaker. So certainly the Congress party is exuding confidence right now that its house is in order, its entire house is intact, and it is confident that it will form the government in Karnataka. But it remains to be seen who gets a last laugh in the day. Over to you, Aishwarya.
Absolutely. Both sides are confident, but obviously there has to be one winner in this case. Let's go back to Panchanan now. Panchanan, since you're outside the Vidhan Sauda there, tell us what is going to be the procedure now for the floor test, because the Supreme Court has rejected the idea of a secret ballot. So will it be a voice vote or a division vote? What is that you're gathering from outside the Karnataka Assembly?
Aishwarya, right now the oath-taking process is continue and it will take some more time. And as the Supreme Court has fixed that at 4 p.m. there should be a trust vote in the House. So there will be, initially there will be a speech from, the motion will be presented from the CM B.S. Yedurappa for this confidence motion, and then after there may be a head count, and also if the Supreme Court has also clear-cut directed that there will be no secret ballot. So there will be very open, transparent voting system here, and that will be a division, vote of division here will take place, and that will make very clear that who is the clear get the majority. But it is only possible that if some of the Congress MLAs are become abstains or not present here. So it has to be seen that what the next for the Congress and also for the BJP. But from at 4 p.m. it will be very clear that who is going to be the winner in this game.
Absolutely. So we'll have to wait for another 2 to 2.5 hours to see what happens in the Karnataka Assembly, what happens in that floor test. Of course, two Congress MLAs are still not there. They have not taken oath. But does their absentation also help the BJP? To what extent? And that we have to wait and watch. Thank you so much, Panchanan and Kriti, for joining us and giving us those updates there. Let's get you some other news now. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today laid the foundation stone of the Zojila Tunnel, which is Asia's longest bi-directional tunnel in Jammu and Kashmir. The 6,800 crore rupees tunnel will provide all-weather connectivity between Srinagar, Kargil and Leh. The 14.2-kilometer tunnel will also cut down the time taken to cross the Zojila Pass from 3.5 hours to just 15 minutes. Addressing people in Leh, Prime Minister Modi said in a single day, projects worth 25,000 crore rupees will either be inaugurated or initiated in Jammu and Kashmir. The Prime Minister also announced to set up a state-of-the-art museum in Leh. Modi, who is on a day-long visit to the state, will also lay the foundation stones for ring road projects in Srinagar and Jammu. He will also inaugurate the Tarakote Marg, the alternative link road to the cave shrine of Vaishno Devi. And he will also inaugurate the 330-megawatt Kishan Ganga power project constructed in the Gurez area of Kashmir.
25,000 करोड़ रुपए के प्रोजेक्ट्स, जिसका या तो शिलान्यास होगा या लोकार्पण होगा, एक दिन में जम्मू कश्मीर में लेह लद्दाख हो, जम्मू रीजन हो या कश्मीर घाटी हो, 25,000 करोड़ रुपए के प्रोजेक्ट दिल्ली में बैठी हुई सरकार इस क्षेत्र के विकास के लिए कितनी प्रतिबद्ध है, इसका जीता जागता उदाहरण आज आप देख सकते हैं। आज यहीं पर करीब 7,000 करोड़ रुपए की लागत से जोजिला टनल का काम होगा। ये टनल का काम जो होता है उसकी एक विशेषता होती है, उसका पैसे जो खर्च होते हैं उन पैसों का ज्यादा कंपोनेंट मजदूरी में जाता है, लोगों को रोजगार देने में जाता है, मटेरियल।
And in midday news, we'll take a very short break. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Narendra Modi government is celebrating 4 years of governance. How has been the journey of this government?
It has genuinely been a historic 4 years.
पहले हरियाणा में हमेशा खाद के लिए लड़ाई होती थी, आज की डेट में खाद के लिए कोई लड़ाई नहीं होती है।
I think this country needs a mission agriculture.
सोच बदल रही है, देश बदल रहा है।
The jobs have grown, but the total employment has fallen.
हमें वन रैंक वन पेंशन की जब तक परिभाषा लागू नहीं करेगी सरकार, हम जंतर मंतर से नहीं हटेंगे।
The Prime Minister has said, "Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas." The rest of the government and the party does not think so at all.
When we have to judge the performance of a government, we have to judge it not from panelists on a debate. We have to judge it from Janta kya keh rahi hai.
Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu has stressed on the need to develop a climate-smart agriculture. He was addressing a senior scientists, faculty members and research fellows of a knowledge incubator managed in Hyderabad, releasing a handbook on important insect pests and diseases of major crops in India and launching the YouTube channel of Manage. The Vice President said that steps must be taken to make agriculture sustainable and profitable. He also said that the ultimate aim of agricultural development is to give a better income to the farmers and to help in proper regulation of markets across the country.
Today, people are leaving rural areas, people are leaving agriculture also, and then there are reasons for that. Education, employment, entertainment, economic upliftment, enhanced medical facilities. These 5 reasons are compelling people to leave their villages and coming to urban areas. And this trend is irreversible. Even if you like it also, or you don't like it also, you can't change this trend. But at the same time, the basic question the entire country is now facing and asking is sustaining agriculture. Sustaining agriculture by making it more viable, attractive. Because people are leaving agriculture, that also is happening. Of course, there is one more view that some people should leave agriculture and join the workforce otherwise, because simple agriculture alone will not sustain our the growing population, 130 crore population and all. But the point is this, why agriculture is becoming unattractive, unviable. There are many reasons. Some of you has been announced by the presentation made. The enough focus has not been made on agriculture. I don't say focus has not been made. Focus has been made. That's why all these institutions have come. By earlier governments, all governments, present government, previous government, even the earlier governments. But enough focus has not been made. The first and foremost thing was creating infrastructure. That's a basic thing required for sustaining agriculture. Road, electricity, irrigation, credit for the godowns, preservation units. And then comes research, then comes extension and all.
And on to some other news now. The centre has written to the chief ministers of 9 states over slow progress made by them in abolishing interviews from the selection process for junior level government jobs. The letters were written to the chief ministers of states, including Jammu and Kashmir and West Bengal. MOS for personnel Jitendra Singh said that they were yet to effectively initiate the process of a discontinuation of interview, whereas other 20 states have already made a significant headway in this direction. Besides transparency and fair selection, Singh noted that the abolition of interviews will make the selection process much more cost-effective. He also urged upon the states to take a lead in initiative and also communicate to the centre about the progress made. Let's get all the international news now. A political coalition led by influential Shiite cleric Muqtada al-Sadr has won the most seats in the Iraqi national parliamentary elections. Iraq's Electoral Commission made the announcement a week after the Iraqis cast their votes on 12th of May. Partial results were announced earlier in the week, but the allegations of irregularities and fraud delayed the complete count. The vote was also marked by a record low turnout. While Sadr himself cannot become the Prime Minister as he did not run in the election, his bloc's victory puts him in a position to have a strong say in negotiations. His bloc captured 54 parliamentary seats. No one alliance won an outright majority, and negotiations over forming the government are expected to drag on for months. Sadr is known to be a critic of both Iran and the US. In fact, he had formed a Shiite militia that fought against the US troops after the liberation of Iraq turned into an occupation. And a Cuban State Airways plane with at least 110 passengers on board crashed shortly after taking off yesterday from Havana's Jose Marti airport. According to Cuban media, 3 passengers survived and are said to be in a critical condition. Airport sources said that Boeing 737 crashed in a field near the airport, leaving a thick column of smoke over the scene. It was heading from the capital of Havana to the eastern city of Holguin. The exact cause of the crash has not been ascertained, but it is under investigation.
Ante todo, explicar que es un lamentable accidente de aviación y tenemos que esperar que las noticias no son nada halagüeñas porque hay un alto número de personas que parecen haber fallecido, por lo tanto, en nombre del...
And the United Nations has called for launching war crime investigation into the recent Israeli forces shooting of Palestinian protesters along the Gaza border. The UN Human Rights Council in Geneva adopted a resolution on Friday condemning Israel for the violations of international law, including disproportionate and indiscriminate use of force by the Israeli forces against Palestinian civilians. The Council voted to set up an independent investigation. In the vote, 29 members voted yes, 14 abstained, and 2 countries, that is the US and Australia, voted no. However, Israel condemned the resolution, which was put forward by a group of countries, including Pakistan. The US decreed it as an example of a biased focus on Israel by the Council. Remember, some 60 Palestinians were killed by Israeli forces on Monday in the 7th consecutive week of border protests.
Israel, as an occupying power under international law, is obligated to protect the population of Gaza and ensure their welfare. But they are, in essence, caged in a toxic slum from birth to death, deprived of dignity, dehumanized by the Israeli authorities to such a point it appears officials do not even consider that these men and women have a right as well as every reason to protest.
News from US now, where the US and Chinese officials held a new rounds of talks in Washington, which are seeking to avert a trade war between the world's 2 largest economies. As US officials met with the Chinese trade delegation for the 2nd day on Friday, the White House said that China has come to trade, but adding a definitive deal to resolve deep trade differences could take a while to develop. Meanwhile, China, while saying that consultations in Washington were constructive, denied that Beijing had offered a package of concessions and goods purchases aimed at reducing the US trade deficit with China by as much as $200 billion. And after the talks, US President Donald Trump said on Friday that he was determined to stop China from taking our jobs, taking our money. Remember, the first round of talks had taken place in Beijing earlier this month. The US and China have threatened in the recent months to slap tariffs on tens of billions of dollars of each other's products. More news from the US, where the attacker responsible for murdering as many as 10 people and injuring 10 others at a Texas high school was charged with capital murder and denied bail. 17-year-old Dimitrios Pogodzis, also a student at the Santa Fe High School, is said to have walked into an art class and he started firing. He allegedly used a shotgun and a revolver taken from his father, who legally owned the weapons. Various kinds of explosive devices were reportedly found at the school. The police found information on the suspect's diary, computer and mobile phone, suggesting that he had planned the attack and he intended to kill himself afterwards. This is the third school shooting in the past 7 days in the US and the 22nd since the beginning of the year in that country.
Computer has information contained in journals on his computer and his cell phone that he said that not only did he want to commit the shooting, but he wanted to commit suicide after the shooting. As you probably know, he gave himself up and admitted at the time that he didn't have the courage to commit the suicide, that he wanted to take his own life earlier.
And finally, here are the big royal wedding preparations for today. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle will tie the knot today. Harry marries the former American actress, who will be walked down the aisle by none other than Prince Charles. In fact, the palace has announced that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle will be known as the Duke and Duchess of Sussex after their wedding. So take a look at these visuals as we take your leave. Thanks for watching.